In today's video, I want to highlight a couple of great deals that are running right now on various PlayStation 4 games. Only 3 deals to go over, but I also want to take a look at how you can get some free content on the PlayStation Store right now. No games. However, you can get a pretty sick dynamic theme featuring God of War, and you can also get 20 free Game of Thrones avatars. So to celebrate the new season starting and the final season at that, check out those free avatars as well. We'll show you guys how to get all of that in a little bit. Also, outside of that, I do want to highlight a couple of new games coming to the PlayStation 4 in Close to the Sun. That'll be coming to PC relatively soon, but it's also scheduled for a PlayStation 4 release in 2019. And then a brand new PlayStation VR title, In a Chair in a Room. That game looks to be pretty eerie, and I want to give that a little bit of a spotlight. So more on that in a little bit. First of all, I do want to highlight a couple of great deals that are running right now. Best Buy has got Middle-earth Shadow of War down to a measly $7.99. If you have your GCU subscription still intact, you'll literally get this game for $6 and change. I don't know what the impetus is for this game to be so cheap. I'm not really gonna complain about it because Shadow of War is a very good game. Yes, it had its fair share of controversy at launch, but I would say fundamentally the game is quite good. Really, the issue at launch was on the basis of its microtransactions, but I would say that Monolith did a good job with the game, and it's a sizable improvement over Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, featuring a bigger world, more content, all that stuff that you would expect out of a sequel. And now with all that controversy subsiding, what you're getting is a relatively good game, and $8 for it, yeah, I would give that a strong recommendation. Would I say you should play Shadow of Mordor first? Sure. But if you do want to jump into Shadow of War right from the get-go for $7.99, I mean, that's such a good deal. And it's got a great open world. The combat style is incredibly satisfying. Think of something like Batman Arkham. I feel like all the Warner Brothers big budget published action games are really starting to feature this Batman Arkham style combat. Not to say that's a bad thing. And Shadow of War's combat is incredibly satisfying, incredibly gruesome. And for what you're paying, $8 for Shadow of War is quite good. Also, a couple of good deals over at GameStop right now. They are still running their spring sale. I believe that'll be going on until April 20th, and I do want to highlight a couple of good deals available as a part of that. There are a ton of deals available as a part of that sale, but specifically Dracine for the PlayStation VR is really good. Now, this is a From Software game that some of you guys might not even know exists. So after they did Dark Souls 3, they wanted to do something a little bit different, and Dracine fit the bill as that kind of game. It's a brand new story adventure available exclusively on PlayStation VR, and as a spirit in a secluded boarding school, the player must prove its existence and build a unique bond with the students as the world is uncovered through discovery and exploration. The game touts a lot of mystery, and the spirit must travel in time to change the fate of the pupils. It's a very immersive VR experience, and it really goes to show how varied From Software can be. I know we usually associate them with these challenging action games like a Bloodborne, like a Souls, Sekiro. All those games are great, however, it really goes to show that they can work on other projects as well and make them rather compelling. I'm not going to say Dracine was a perfect game, however, definitely gave us an idea of what they can do in the future if they want to try something completely different. And honestly, I'm kind of on board with the notion of From Software trying something different. Always stick to the roots of creating action games, but if they want to drift away from the beaten path and work on something compelling and unique like a Dracine, hey, I'm all for that. It is a PlayStation VR title, so just bear in mind you do have to have the VR headset. That was a little bit of a barrier for this game to be as big as I think it potentially could have been because of the From Software label, but they still put it out and it turned out pretty well. And lastly, I do want to mention that the Quantum Dream Collection is down to $29.99. Now, this includes Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls, and this is a really good deal. The only caveat is Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls were available as PlayStation Plus offerings a couple months ago, so if you got those games as a part of the Plus offering, then essentially all you're getting is Detroit for $30, and is that really a great deal? Not necessarily. But if you missed out on Beyond and Heavy Rain being Plus offerings, then this is a really good deal. Essentially, you get each game for $10, and at that point, this is a very good buy. Now, Beyond Two Souls, I've made it very clear if you guys watch my videos that I was not a big fan of that game. I think it's without a doubt Quantum Dream's weakest outing. However, it still has some interesting ideas, and it's fun for a little bit, and then the story goes to complete hell. But maybe you can still enjoy it for the train wreck that it is. However, Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human are rather compelling narratives, and I would recommend those games strongly, especially in the case of Heavy Rain. That was one of the PlayStation 3's best games, and it still holds up decently today. I mean, from a technical standpoint, it does show it's aging a little bit, but it's still a rather good playthrough. And Detroit Become Human, of course, that game's a relatively recent release. and it was a pretty good game. I mean, if you look at the PS4 exclusives last year, it was definitely the number 3 exclusive behind God of War and Spider-Man, but still, it turned out to be a pretty good game, and I would give you guys a recommendation to go back and play it, and as a part of the Quantic Dream collection, not a bad buy there. Okay, so those are the 3 deals I wanted to highlight. Also, there is some free content you can get on the PlayStation Store right now. Directly off the store, you can get God of War, Your Journey Awaits dynamic theme. They're celebrating the 1-year anniversary since the release of God of War. It actually came out on April 20th last year, but nonetheless, I'm just gonna say this is for the 1-year anniversary. I don't really know if that's the case, but it's so close to it that I'll just spin my own narrative on that. It's a God of War theme. It's available for free. Typically, these themes go for $2.99, so check it out for free yourself. We'll leave a link to it in the description box down below, and if you've yet to play God of War, you should really smack yourself in the face and then go play it ASAP, because many are saying it's the best PS4 exclusive of all time. I really shouldn't add any barriers to it. Many are saying it's the best PS4 game of all time. I'm still a little bit partial to Uncharted 4, but nonetheless, it's a great game, and you should definitely play it, and you can celebrate your journey on that game with Your Journey Awaits dynamic theme. Also, the final season of Game of Thrones has kicked off. I am ashamed to say that I am one of the 4 people in the world that has never watched an episode of Game of Thrones, but nonetheless, right now you can get 20 free Game of Thrones avatars for your US PSN by watching 2 YouTube videos. We'll leave a link in the description box down below. You can literally skip to the end of the video if you don't even want to watch the video. I imagine these are a bunch of iconic characters from the Game of Thrones universe. I mean, I know all the memes. I know your Jon Snows, your Tyrion Lannisters, all that good stuff. But nonetheless, again, I am one of the 4 people that have never watched this show. Also, outside of your character icons, you also get some icons for the house sigils, and some of them that resonate with me. There's House Stark, House Lannister, House Tully, House Targaryen, and we'll just stop right there before I make a fool of myself anymore. Again, link to that 20 free Game of Thrones avatars in the description box down below. Outside of the Game of Thrones avatars, you can also watch another video for Quest 3 Dynamic Fire and Ice Dragon theme, and you'll get a couple of avatars for that as well, and that'll immerse your PlayStation 4 console in the mystical world of the 7 Kingdoms with a one-of-a-kind Fire and Ice Dragon theme and 10 Game of the Thrones avatars for your PlayStation 4 console. So in total, you'll be getting 30 avatars as well as a dynamic theme. I know a lot of our audience loves Game of Thrones. Again, I personally am not big on it, but nonetheless, check out that dynamic theme as well. So as far as the free content goes, 30 free avatars and 2 free dynamic themes with the Game of Thrones theme as well as the God of War Your Journey Awaits theme. A lot of cool free stuff. Might as well take advantage of it and add it to your library. Alright, next up, I did want to highlight 2 upcoming PlayStation 4 titles. Close to the Sun is a brand new game. It's launching May 2nd on PC. However, it will be coming to the PlayStation 4 later in 2019. It is going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive on PC, but of course on a PlayStation 4 release, it will be available through your traditional means. Here's an overview of the game from the developers Storm in a Teacup, which by the way is a great name for a studio. Grounded in an alternative 19th century where famed inventor and futurist Nikola Tesla was able to fulfill his potential and change the world forever, Close to the Sun sees players step aboard in the Helios, a colossal vessel for scientific research steeped in horror and mystery. Grand halls stand empty, the stench of rotting flesh lingers in the air, silence, a single word is painted across the entrance, quarantine. Using the raw power of the Unreal Engine 4 and embracing leading-edge technology to increase fidelity and quality within the game to deliver a breathtaking experience for players, Close to the Sun has already garnered considerable interest and praise from critics as well as fans. And yeah, I do have to say that visually this game is rather impressive. We'll see how the game turns out. Again, the PC release is coming May 2nd, so we'll have an idea on how the game is generally received. Unfortunately, with a game like this, not a lot of people will play it because it is being relegated to the Epic Games Store for the time being. However, with a game like this, I definitely could understand why they make this decision, because it's a game while some people have taken a notice to, like myself, it's not a game that's really resonating at the mainstream level, so you do want that financial certainty of the game being able to break even, and with that upfront money from Epic Games, you at least get to do that. Also, I did want to highlight a brand new PlayStation VR title that's coming very, very soon, and that is A Chair in a Room Greenwater. That's coming to PlayStation VR on April 23rd, so a game that's coming out very soon, and it's another eerie VR title that seems to work pretty well, that formula at least. The PlayStation blog's got a pretty in-depth post on it, but the game starts in the Greenwater Institute, a brightly lit facility that could be anywhere in the world. On the surface, it looks clean and safe with posters of stock models smiling under the guise of care and security. This is subversive by design, as the threat in Greenwater is invisible from the start. Investigation of the clues is carried out by manipulating items using either DualShock 4 wireless controller or PlayStation Move motion controllers. The kind of hands-on gameplay means that getting getting up close is important. With that in mind, they've paid extra attention to the finer details. Looking closer, the clean white room reveals marks of the previous occupants, and scratched into the paint of the doors are messages from another time. So a pretty eerie game here, a game with a lot of mystery. I think it's pretty interesting. I always like to give these more interesting PlayStation VR games a little bit of a highlight because it's not like a lot of people are covering them and they kind of go under the radar. And for all of you guys that think VR doesn't have a compelling library of games, I think you're really mistaken. You've got upcoming games like Blood and Truth, you've got games like A Chair in a Room, Green Water. The library is growing rapidly. Now I could understand a $250 investment is still pretty steep, and who knows if it will carry on over to the PlayStation 5. I could see that being a concern, but nonetheless, if you just assess the library that's there of VR games right now, I would say it's pretty good. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, check out those great deals. Middle-earth Shadow of War $7.99, Dracine $9.99, Quantic Dream Collection $29.99. All of those are pretty good deals. God of War Your Journey Awaits Dynamic Theme is available for free, as is Game of Thrones. 20 avatars for that. All you have to do is watch a couple of YouTube videos. Close to the Sun is coming to PC on May 2nd, but it will be dropping to PlayStation 4 later in 2019. And for you PSVR buffs out there, A Chair in a Room, Green Water is coming to that platform on April 23rd. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.